friends, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking about Cadeau, or Kiss All the Time Disco Occasionally by Harry Styles as books. So I have a lot of things to say. Obviously we have a lot of songs, I think like 9 songs? 12 songs, I lied, to talk about, so 12 books in total. But if you like this kind of videos from me, let me know in the comments down below and I'll try to make more of these videos. If you haven't seen my other videos as books, I'll leave a link down below to the playlist if I have one. Or you can just go ahead and check out my channel because I've done a bunch of, like, I've done Chaperone, I've done one of other Harry's books, done the Magician's books, I've done Renee Rappe's books. So you have your options and your availability there. But until then, or until you check out those videos, hit like, subscribe, and comment. I try to upload at least once a week, trying to get back in that schedule. And yeah, so let's just kind of hop in the video. So before I start this off, disclaimer, I took a lot of these meanings off of Genius.com, so I don't know how well they are or how accurate it is, but that's how I kind of took the meanings from the songs to be able to figure out which books to do. So if you disagree with that, take it up with Genius. The first one is Aperture, and Aperture is a song that kind of talks about embracing the light, letting the light in, and being vulnerable, and just being there for those joyous moments. And that book I ended up choosing is Game Changers by Rachel Reed. This is an adult romance novel following Scott Hunter, who is a top NHL player. He's kind of in a bit of a rut. That is until he meets Kip Grady, who is a down on his luck, trying to go back to school guy in Brooklyn, I believe, who works at a smoothie shop. The two of them fall in love and things happen, and you guys have seen Hated Rivalry by now. You know that the Scott Hunter is closeted, so a lot of this is I focus a lot of this song based on the fact that Scott Hunter also deserves to see the sun too. I think that because he's closeted, he's not letting himself be vulnerable and embracing that vulnerability, so I think it really just fits that as he kind of grows into himself a little more and grows into who he's supposed to be and all that stuff. The next song is American Girls. It's just about falling in love and settling down. To me, this kind of fits the theme for Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I know, what a surprise. It's a Therese video, and it only took me a book and a half to mention a Shadowhunters book. Are we surprised? No, not really. But this follows a new generation of Shadowhunters in LA this time, following Emma Carstairs and Julian Blackthorne and their little family. And I think it just fits Julian so well as he's falling in love with, as he's fallen for Emma, and just loves the little life that they lead right now, and really just like would love to settle down and really be in this space with her forever. Ready, Steady, Go is the next song, and that I think this is about the rush of a new relationship or a new situationship starting, and that is Check Please by Ngozi Ugazu. This is a YA hockey romance following Biddy, little Biddle, who was a ice figure skater, now turned hockey player for college, and is just really struggling to find that that good in between of like what he likes to do, which is baking, and also trying to keep his hockey scholarship while learning about hockey, and learning that he's not really the best hockey player out there because he's not the most aggressive hockey player out there. I think it's just perfect because he's falling for someone, it's developing, things are kind of growing. He's learning the rush of hockey and learning the insides and outs about that. And I feel like he's really fit, and it really worked out. The next song is Are You Listening Yet? And this song is for listening to your inner voice and listening to your intuition. And that book is Monstrous Mrs. Mize by Van Wong. This book follows 3 girls, all named Mai, or have the name Mai at some point, who is like set in 1950s San Francisco. It follows 3 girls, all named, I think 4 actually, all named the same Mai or have Mai in their name somehow, all living in the same apartment, trying to make their dreams come true, and they are offered a deal to make their dreams come true at a cost. And the more that they kind of lean into this deal, the bigger the cost is. This book is all about what happens when you don't listen to your intuition and listen to the things that you want. So I think it really fits the song about listening to your intuition and listening to the inner voice, and the book is about what happens when you don't do that. So I think it fits. They learn to listen to their intuition eventually, is what I'm trying to tell y'all. The next song is Taste Back, which is a song about, well, the song reminds me about a lonely girl who's reconnecting with an old love or to feel something again. I ended up choosing Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier for this. This is a gothic adult novel following Rebecca, following an unnamed author, or unnamed narrator, I should say, who ends up marrying this widower and follows him back to his mansion and his home and his manor, only to find out that the ghost of his previous wife, Rebecca, still very much haunts the halls of this home, this manor, and the lives of the people inside of it. I think it fits just because it's about a lonely girl trying to really like reconnect with an old flame, trying to really find her place in this world, and just feels really alone. And the narrator for Rebecca also just feels very lonely to me. I think it actually happens in Paris where she meets the guy, so it works out thematically, in my opinion. She's a very lonely girl who's just looking for acceptance and looking for love, and this was the song reminds me all about as I'm listening to it. The next song is The Waiting Game. I didn't have a reason for what the song meant, so it's fine, I guess. But for this one, I chose The Summer Turned Pretty. Disclaimer, I only read the first book of this. I'm going purely off the TV show. But if it works, I guess. However, this gives me such strong Belly and Conrad vibes, who I feel like they were just like waiting for each other and trying, on Belly's perspective specifically, filling in the hole that Conrad had left and trying to fill that until he came back. I think it really suits them, really fits that song. Summer Turned Pretty is a YA novel following young Belly Conklin, who, as the name suggests, turns pretty one summer and all of a sudden all the boys are looking at her and looking to her to like fall in love with her, and she's just doing her best trying to get through this weird time in her life. The next song is Season 2 Weight Loss, which is a song about transforming into your most magical and better self. I ended up choosing The Magicians by Lev Grossman for this book. This is an adult fantasy novel following young Quentin Coldwater, who is by all accounts not great at life. He's very awkward, he's very uncomfortable within his body. That is until one day he finds out that he is a magician which is a person who's capable of doing magic, as the name suggests, and is whisked off into Brakebills College and becomes a magician and learns all about magic and how to do magic and all the things that come with magic itself. I ended up choosing this book because the song is about becoming your best self, and Quentin thought that he was going to become his best self once he got magic, and that just did not happen in any case whatsoever. But he does eventually become his best self as the series progresses. I still have to read the third book, which is fine, but he does eventually become into something that he can live with and enjoy. I think Lev Grossman in his interviews have mentioned that Quentin becomes someone that he wishes he could become himself. So I think it's a really like nice way of a character growing into themselves. It's just that the first book doesn't really show that very well. The next song is Coming Up Roses, and this is about coming to terms with a relationship, or like repairing a relationship or strengthening a relationship while struggling with your own desires in the relationship as a person. I ended up choosing Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. This is an adult romance novel following Lou, who is down on her luck and wants to just find a career and really help out her family. That is until she finds a job taking care of a paraplegic man named Will Traynor, and the two of them start to fall in love. But the problem with their relationship is that Will has his own decisions to make that don't always include Louisa or Lou, and it just is a story about how that all unfolds. Obviously, we all know by now what those decisions are. They're not the best, the ones that they're not the ones that Louisa wants him to make for their relationship, for the sake of their friendship and their relationship that's budding and growing. But he makes them anyway, and I think that's just really fitting for the book. Really fitting for the song, where it's all about trying to come to terms with your own desires in a relationship and how you have to compromise and give in a relationship within those desires itself. The next song is Pop, which after Coming Up Roses was a decision that I do not understand why Harry Styles made it, but I'm not the one who can write songs, so I guess whatever he decides goes, whatever. But I took the song as a relationship that's just starting. You don't really know where it's going. You're afraid of it growing to something more, but you're excited for it to grow into something more, and you're scared all at the same time. And I chose Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is an adult romance novel following... I'm just forgetting everyone's names, to be honest, today. Following Brianna, who is a doctor whose life is flatlining as we speak. She has recently divorced her husband and is just starting anew in her childhood family home that has not changed much since like the 60s. Meanwhile, Dr. Jacob Maddox has just also starting anew as he's moving into this new hospital, and the two of them start to butt heads initially because of something that happens in the book that I'm forgetting. But eventually they start to like become friends, and they start writing letters to each other, and then eventually fall in love with each other, and they plan to fake date to kind of get everyone off their backs. I chose this just because of how the relationship started as a fake dating relationship. They're really afraid to get into the weeds of their relationship because it is supposed to be fake. Meanwhile, they are trying to fall for each other really truly, and I think they're just waiting for that big pop moment where either the relationship falls apart forever, or it becomes something more forever. And there's just this weird in between, which I think really fits the song. The next song is Dance No More, and this song is about living your life freely versus the persona you put out into the world. And I chose The Seventh Veil of Salome by Silvia Moreno Garcia for this one. This is an adult literary fiction novel following 3 perspectives. Vera Leos, who is a young Mexican ingenue who has just been chosen to portray Salome in the new movie during the 1950s boom. Then we have Nancy Hartley, who is a down on her luck actress who wanted the role for herself and is trying to get ways to get the role for herself. And then we also have Salome herself living in biblical times. I don't even know the timeline for that, I'm not gonna lie. Trying to make sense of the world around her while it is not crumbling, but being controlled by the men surrounding her life. I chose this one just because it is about living freely and living who you want to be, and these 3 women are just not living that at all. They're all controlled by the men in their life, by the powerful figures who are trying to control them and dictate who they should be with, how this is going to affect their lives forever, and etc. I think it really fit. Well, I think it fit. If you don't think it fits, then maybe tell me what another book you think fits in the description down below. But I think it fits. So that's all that really matters because it's my video. The second to last song is Paint by Numbers, and it's just a song about following what life has planned for you and how restrictive and painful that feels sometimes. And I chose A Manor of Dreams by Christina Leeds. This is an adult gothic novel following 2 families who have lived under the same roof. When the matriarch of that family passes away and they all meet up together to hear the listening of the will, they find out that it's been passed on to the other family and not the main family. And it's up to the main family now to convince the other family to give them their family home back. This is a gothic novel, very creepy, very spooky, very... But I chose it just because it is about a generational trauma in an Asian household and all the things that come with it, and I feel like it is very restrictive and very harmful and painful to live within the confines of what your parents had wanted for you and what your parents are telling you to do versus what you want to be and how you want to grow up. This comes with a very beautiful ending, and I think it really just fits with the song and really just works with the concept of restricting yourself to painting by the numbers instead of painting freely and how you want to live your life and how you want to do that. And the last song is Carla's song, and this song is about the small meaningful moments when you share music with someone for the first time. And I chose Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce for this song. This follows a set of characters whose name I'm forgetting because this is where I am with my life. Following Riley, who has big dreams of going on Broadway. She's a theater kid. And that's her kind of main goal, and she ends up taking her mom's car without her permission and gets grounded and has to work at her dad's game store. Now in this game store she finds Nathan, who is a nerdy teen employee who works there, and convinces him to fake date so that way her boyfriend will think that she has moved on, and that way Nathan can make the girl that he likes jealous enough to date him, and she ends up joining their D&D table. I don't know. I think it fits just because there is the small meaningful moments that happen within a D&D table that I experience whenever I play with my friends. And there's just nothing that beats that sharing of this time together and those really fun crazy moments with characters and with your friends, and just really just those intimate moments that happen on a table really just mean a lot to me. I think it really fits the song of the book where you're sharing the song of the book, the meaning of the song, where you're sharing intimate moments with someone by sharing them your life story, your song, and sharing all these things for you. And that is it for my Cadeau or Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally by Harry Styles as books. If you agree with any of these or have inspired you to read any of these books, let me know in the comments down below. If you have ideas for what other books fit these songs, let me know as well. I would love to see them and read them in the near future once I trim down my TBR a little bit. But until next time, stay safe and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!